And okay, sounds good. All right, well, tonight we're very lucky to have Alex VE3NEA as our guest speaker tonight. Alex is quite a renowned ham, especially all over the world, with his some of the software that he has created for us all. One of them was OmniRig. I've been using that for a long time. The CW Skimmer, I haven't used that too much. HamCap, I might want to take a look at that. And then there's the Morse Runner, and then of course DX Atlas, which is another great program for managing software. Alex is actually got the title of the Radio Association of Canada Amateur of the Year for 2024, and well deserved. He's very unique and innovative with the software, and I think that's the reason why it's so interesting and why it's so helpful. Alex had been working on a package which we call the JT Skimmer, Skimmer, and allows us to listen to multiple frequencies, and does a lot of things like that we have right now with WSJT, as well as the SDR Console. So I'm really fascinated to find out what this is like, and I'm hoping that Alex can explain it, and then maybe we can all go and try it again after this is over. So with that, Alex, I'd like you to hop right on there and take over.
Thank you, Paul. I guess I'll share my screen, just show you. You can. Oh, okay. You should see my screen now. So, yes, you know that JT Skimmer is a Windows program for decoding multiple modes or multiple frequencies on the band. And the purpose of it to let you know when something that you want to work appears on there. So I basically I wrote it for myself. When I started to work on 6 meters a couple of years ago, the first thing I discovered that I cannot just spin the dial knob and listen. I can't find the edge this way. I need a tool that will tell me when something interesting appears. And then I developed JT Skimmer for that. It's not an all-in-one program. It has only one task, and everything in it is optimized for performing this task, letting you know when to get on there and work something. I have created a small website where you can download JT Skimmer, and I'll ask Paul to include a link in the description of the video. But even if you don't have a link, you can just Google for JT Skimmer and find this site. Okay, currently this is the only documentation is available, so you probably want to read. There are only a few pages and they are essential. So this is the system requirements. They tell you what SDR radio are supported, what kind of CPU you need for that, and all that stuff. Basically, virtually any modern computer will work. My own computer is 7 years old, and Microsoft says that it is not good enough for Windows 11, so I'm still at Windows 8. And yet it works fine with JT Skimmer, so it should also be fine. Quick start is probably the best part. It tells you how to get it working quickly. And download. So we click here, and we get the file downloaded. Now, you probably know this, but when you download something executable, you want to right-click on it, click on Properties, and tick the unblock checkbox. By doing this, you tell Windows that you know what it is and to execute it. Otherwise, it will complain, it will do all nasty things. So now we're good. We open the zip file. There is only one executable. It's a setup program. The setup includes OmniRig as an option. If you don't have OmniRig, you can tick it, get it installed. If you already have it, or if you don't want to use it, you leave it unchecked. Install, we'll create a desktop shortcut. All done now. This option is checked, so it will start automatically. Okay, so all is good, it's running. The first thing that you will want to do is to tell the program what SDR radio you want to use. You click on Tools, SDR Devices, and the program will show you all SDR devices connected to your computer. I have two of them. I have AirSpy Mini and SDR Play, SP1A. The left side is the settings specific to the radio. You see SDR Play has a different set. You can leave those at their default values, but if you want to customize them, you probably know that AirSpy has 3 gain modes: best sensitivity, best linearity, and custom. It also has individual gain settings for the VGA, which is variable gain amplifier, LNA, noise amplifier, and mixer. These values are in effect only in the custom. If you switch to one of the other 2 modes, then you have only one gain setting, and it is controlled by this slider on the toolbar. Let me show this one. And these have no effect. So we'll leave it at defaults, and you can always set a default by right-clicking and clicking on reset. And at the bottom, you can see a display explanation of what each option is. Well, I think now is not the best time for a demo because 6 meters is closed and 10 meters is probably closed. So I guess I will select SDR Play and go to 20 meters. You see, when you click on the name, this only selects the radio for editing its settings. To select the radio to be used by the program, you have to click on the radio. So we will use SDR Play. We'll have to set the bandwidth. Try to set the bandwidth as narrow as you can. The more the bandwidth, the more CPU time is used. And the center frequency, which is going to be 14.110. This should be good. Frequency calibration. If you know the ppm correction for your radio, you can enter it here. If you don't know it, you can use this calculator. Click on this button. So basically, you have to receive some signal on known frequency and enter the receiver frequency, the tone, the actual tone, and this is the actual tone, and this is the tone printed by JT Skimmer when it prints the decoding. So if you set these values, then you will have then you ppm and you click apply, it gets into it. But we'll keep it at 0 for now. Okay, so we can see something on the waterfall display, which is good. Let me change the settings of the waterfall and get a bit more brightness. Contrast, this is the speed from very slow to very fast. And you have a selection of several panels. And if you want, you can create your own panels. It's very easy. So if you want to do that, I'll explain you how. But this one is good for now. Okay, noise floor. This is a display that actually processes the whole spectrum, and it looks only at the flat part of the spectrum, the wideband noise, like this, here and here, and estimates its level. The narrowband signals like this are not included in the calculation. So this is basically an indication of the receiving conditions at the moment. Initially, it's just relative to some arbitrary reference, but you can calibrate it. So what I'll do, I will disconnect the antenna from the receiver. And I will set this level as 0. Okay, so internal noise of the radio is now 0 dB. And when I connect the antenna, I know how much atmospheric noise I have. It's about 6 dB. So as you know, this is the optimal value. If you have more than 6 dB, these extra decibels, you still don't for your dynamic range. If it's less than 6 dB, then you can improve your sensitivity by adding more gain. Now let us create some receivers. There are 2 ways to create a receiver. You can, let me erase this. You can click on the button, Add Receiver, or you can click on the waterfall on the frequency scale and set the frequency. Now, how do you know which green rectangle corresponds to which radio? You just move the button, mouse cursor over it, the receiver is highlighted, or you can put the mouse cursor here, the passband is highlighted on the frequency scale. Every receiver has these 4 buttons. The first button is settings. They allow you to set the center frequency. Let's make it 0.74, which is the FT8 frequency on pentameters, and select FT8 for decoding. So we click on this and it starts receiving. Let's give it the time to receive a complete transmit interval, 15 seconds, and see if it decodes anything. Decoding. Oh, so decoded quite a few signals. Here is the number. 41 message was decoded in this interval. Now let me say a few words about decoding. WSJT-X is required to be installed in your system. This is in the system requirements. And the reason for that is because we were going to use its own decoder. We don't have a built-in decoder. We use the one that is used by WSJT-X. There are several executables here. The WSJT-X package. WSJT-X is the main program. It has the user interface with all those buttons, sliders, message lists, etc. And there's another program called JT9EXE. This one runs in the background in the invisible mode and performs all decoding. So WSJT-X sends blocks of audio to JT9 and receives the decoded message. We're going to use the same JT9EXE for decoding. When the program is started for the first time, it tries to find this JT9. If it finds it, you will see here in the settings dialog the path to this file. If for some reason it doesn't find it, you can enter the path manually. JT-X is a special version, so to say, of WSJT-X, and it has its own decoder. And if it's installed on your system, the program also tries to find it and use it. And if both of these are installed, then you, in the settings here, you have a choice. You can choose, let me select one of the modes that is supported by both programs, and you can see you can select JT-X. So let's do a small experiment. We'll have two receivers on the same frequency, decoding the same mode, but using different decoding dimensions. And we can just run them side by side and see which one decodes more signals. JTDS 41 message, WSJT-X is 48 message. That is one word. Okay, so what do other buttons do? This one is audio. You can send the audio to your speakers. If you can hear it, I can hear the audio. And this button is virtual audio table. You can set the same audio to virtual audio table if you want to use it in some. This is not needed for decoding. This is only for your experimentation. Here in the settings, again, it tries to find your default audio device and select it, but you can override it and select something else. And if you have a virtual audio table, it also finds it and selects it. And again, you can override it. But we will do it. Okay, what else? Yeah, I guess that's all about decoding. Now, what can we do with the decoded messages? There are several options. First of all, you can save them to a file. This is disabled by default. You can just change this to true to start saving, and then all the messages decoded are saved on disk. It has a built-in DX cluster. If you're familiar with CW Skimmer, it's the same concept. It has a built-in cluster, and all messages become spots on the cluster. You can connect your logger or your cluster client. There's tons of software that can work with DX clusters. And logger, for example, can check these decoded calls against your needed list and notify you if there is something of interest for you. And again, to enable DX cluster, you need to enter your call sign and this. Well, we can enable it, and it doesn't complain. This is the default. Also, that's not what I want to enable. DX cluster. The default port number is 72310. If you're already using this port for something else, you can change it. WSJT-X UDP packets. You know that WSJT-X, when it decodes something, it sends a UDP packet with information about the decoded message. And there are many programs that can receive these messages and do something with them. Like grid tracker can show those call signs on the map. FT1 and 1 plus can not only receive those ports, but it replies to this little and tells the sender what color should be used to display the call sign. I guess I can show you a screenshot here. What will be here? Yeah. So on the left side is N1 MM plus the logger, and then the right side is JT Skimmer, and N1 MM plus tells the JT Skimmer what colors to use for this. You see this blue, I guess these are call signs that give you multipliers in the context. So another logger may send the colors that indicate needed grid squares or needed new counters or whatever you are changing. What else we have here? PSK reporter. You can enable this and then what's my call sign? Better. You need to click apply or OK, otherwise these changes will not take effect. So I recommend that you use this. You have this PSK reporter option enabled. Let other hams benefit from the information you collect. On the PSK reporter website, there's a statistics page, and near the bottom of the page, it shows how many users use each type of software. So JT Skimmer is already used by 13 people. They report their spots, send their spots to PSK reporter, and it would be nice if you add your call signs here to this list. This is what motivates me to continue my work on these programs. If you want new features, you should increase this number. IQ output. You know that here in WSJT-X there are programs called QMAP and Q65 and MAP65. These programs can receive IQ data, white bandband and 96 levels as UDP packets and decode all messages in this frequency segment. This is mostly used by the EME people. It's very easy to enable this.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're talking, your voice changes. I think your microphone is either off to the side, and we can't hear you when you're talking off the side. If you talk straight into the microphone, it becomes clear. Or if it could get closer to your mouth, it just
okay.
It was dropping out there a few times.
Okay, I will try to hold it closer to the mouth. To enable IQ output, you change the enable to true, and you'll change the center frequency. So you want this segment 96 kilohertz to be within the passband of the SDR radio. So choose like 120, 14, 120. Now IQ light is green, which means that the data are going out. And if we start QMAP now, you'll see that the data are coming. Here on the frequency scale, the blue rectangle shows the range of frequencies that is sent to QMAP. And QMAP is supposed to decode those messages and send them to WSJT-X, where you can click on them and work. That is probably all I wanted to say. Yeah. A few words about the user interface. All panels here are configurable. You can dock them anywhere you want. You can just drag and put it as a floating window, or you can dock it. You see, when you drag a panel, these are docking icons appear. If you drop it on the icon, it gets docked to the bottom, to the right. You can reorder the receivers just by moving them to the place where you want them. This basically, it remembers your configuration. It reloads it next time it's on the problem. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Now, if you have any questions, please go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how wide can you look on the band view?
This depends on the selected radio type. So let's open this and see. For SDR play,
Yeah,
you have to up to 1 megahertz. On AirSpan Mini,
Yeah.
it's 114. 1414.
Mhm.
But normally you will not want to have such a wide bandwidth because then everything becomes too narrow. Difficult understanding what it is. On 6 meters, I prefer to use 360 kilohertz. It covers everything from CW, SSB, a beacon segment, and all digital frequencies.
Okay. So if you wanted to look at, say, 6 meters, 2 meters, and 222 at the same time, you'd need 3 receivers.
Yes. By default, you can run only one instance of JT Skimmer, but there is a way to run multiple instances.
Multiple skimmers. Okay.
Yes. Each one has to work with its own radio. If you have several radios of the same time, then they have different signals. That's how you can tell which one you use.
Okay, thanks.
I've been running JT Skimmer for 8 months now, 24/7, and it actually helped me, despite the poor propagation in this season. I worked several new ones, like I worked Falklands in FT4. Normally people don't monitor FT4, but that was the case one. It helped. And a couple of weeks ago, I worked Sable Island because I was monitoring Q65 and it appeared there. And I worked Paraguay, I worked on Malawi in Africa. And that was only thanks to JT Skimmer. Did I mention that it's not only freeware, it's open source?
So if I understand correctly, you'll be able to have on 6 meters, for instance, say coming up from say, I don't know, 14260, you'd have MSK and anything that's MSK. And then you would have, when it gets up to Q65 and like say around 275, you get Q65. And then up above that, you would have the well, there's some other JT stuff in there, but basically FT8, and you get up to 313 and then 323 would be FT8 as well. And then F318, you'd have some FT4 in there. So it will decode all of these at the
Yes.
same time.
Usually I run one FT8 decoder on 313, one on 323, one on 303, and 310. This is also sometimes used by the rollers, so I want to monitor both of those. And I monitor the MSK frequency, the Q65 frequency. And I also have a local beacon here. So I have one of the receivers just for the audio, so that I know that everything is working correctly. And the radio, and all those connections.
You don't have to have the audio on for the other ones, the other skimmers.
No, only one radio can produce the audio. When you click on some other, this one gets deselected.
Is there any difference in the JT in terms of the JT-X? Because there are some what they call the improved version versus the regular version. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I hear there's WSJT-X, WSJT-X improved, and JT-DX. That's what I hear. I only use WSJT-X, the official version. It works best for me. You can run this side-by-side test and see what works better for you.
Well, that's great. And you can compare, you could listen to the same frequency, same contacts, using two different decoders.
Yes.
Now, this is all on one. You could do this on one SDR, or do you have to have two?
Yes. You can run the two FTA decoders on the same frequency from the same SDR. That's what we are doing now, actually.
Okay.
This receiver number 1 and receiver number 2 are both FT8, but using different decoders. You can see. I don't remember which one is which.
That's because they're both looking at the same OmniRig feed, correct?
No, OmniRig is only for controlling the transceiver. If you want to set your transceiver to the same frequency as one of the receivers, you click on this button and it tunes. OmniRig is red now, and the mouse tooltip says OmniRig not configured, so let's configure it. You can click here. I'm using rig 2 for my icon, so I'll go to 2 seconds and change OmniRig to 2. Now it's green, and when you click here, the radio is supposed to tune at 4.074. You can see. Yeah, it went there.
How do you find the copy between the 7610 and the AirSpy R2? Do you find much difference in terms of the way they work?
In my experience, AirSpy, I'm using AirSpy Mini, but the manufacturer says that Mini and R2 have the same architecture, though different some extra features. So AirSpy Mini, at least on HF and on 6 meters, usually decodes 2 or 3 more messages in every cycle.
Amazing.
But this greatly depends on the gain settings. Because if you go, sorry. If you set these gains incorrectly, then you'll have problems. So initially I tried one of these modes, and AirSpy was always worse than like. After I changed this to the value suggested by Hassan, now AirSpy is better.
The AirSpy Mini versus the AirSpy R2. The one is one more of a the Mini is kind of a lower cost version of the R2.
Yes, yes. It doesn't have some extra features, like it doesn't have extra in-out bits that you cannot use anyway without writing custom software. It
Gotcha.
doesn't allow you to discipline the oscillator, but that's what I'm not using anyway. So for me, Mini is more cost effective.
Now, so another way looking at it is we don't use SDR Console in this operation that you're using, right? This bypasses SDR Console completely.
Yes, you don't need SDR Console. SDR Console is a universal application. It has features for every possible use case. Whatever you do on HF or VHF, you probably find a function already in that. This is the opposite of that. This program has only one function. Everything is optimized for this function. For example, you have probably noticed that there is no start and stop buttons. When the radio is available, the program uses it. So let me disconnect the radio. So the light goes red, but there are no messages, no questions asked. So this is designed for unattended operation. If I connect the radio back, it's green again and it's working again.
So do you have it set up so that it triggers alarms?
No, alarm must be triggered by the external program. Typically by the login, because the login knows you immediately and can tell you what you need for any award. This program just collects data and shares it through different channels.
No, looks like a good start. Looks nice.
Yeah, especially with the F2 stuff coming.
Yes.
Trying to watch everything at once. Ooh.
That's the problem. You have to get a pair of eyeglasses where one of the glasses of the eyeglasses is actually your screen at your shack, and the other one is the one that you can see where you're driving. And you see something new, and
You just blink and it works.
I guess. Right.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty fascinating. Alex, on the right side, that is the JTDX, and in the center is WSJT-X.
Yeah, that's correct. You can double check.
That's fascinating because of what you showed early on, Paul, how JTDX actually had more decodes. Now it looks like this isn't even the improved version, but the WSJT-X has been constantly having more decodes. That's pretty impressive.
I guess this depends on the actual conditions, the type of the noise and all that stuff. Yes. In some situations, one program is better than the other.
Well, I wonder what it looks like on Q65.
We can configure one decoder for Q65 if you want, but I don't think there are any signals there. Q65, and we have all the submodes supported by JT9. So we'll use 38 frequencies. The Q65 will not use.
I could send you a signal on Q65, but I'm not sure you'd hear me.
Oh,
Maybe Dana's got Q65 running.
Yeah.
Sure, let's try that.
This is W7EW. I've been using Alex's JT Skimmer since February, And comparing it with SDR Console, I think this program that Alex has come up with is, after you use it for a while, it becomes very intuitive. And you can actually skim several frequencies at the same time, just like SDR Console. It's a little tricky in getting the settings correctly so you can hear and see what you want to hear. It can become very sensitive. Alex and I were talking about the latency. I had a latency problem with JT-X here, and he made some tweaks, and it's working much better. So I've enjoyed using this program rather than the SDR Console. So it's sure worth giving it a try.
Oh, for sure. Do you have your 6-meter antenna up there?
Yes. Perfect. So we're going to go to meters. Oranges. And oranges. Okay. Oh, let me see if it works. This is my local beacon. Yeah, it works fine.
Yeah, I'm going to send you some RF.
Let me set the frequency first.
Yeah, 27275.
5275.
Let's see. 65. 45.
Okay. I can see something.
That's me.
A little bit off center.
Sub mode B.
Okay.
Your sub mode Bravo. $30, right?
Let me, okay, I'll leave it 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm running 30 seconds in A.
You want A?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go over to A. Okay, I'm sub mode A.
Oh, I'm decoding B.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yep. Signal.
So it sees a signal. Yeah.
That must be I'm on receive right now.
That's me, Paul.
I know. You're transmitting on.
I'm on mode, sub mode A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me switch to A then. Let's try again.
Guess you're not hearing me. It's only about what, 300-400 miles? Maybe more. I'm on 330A. 275.
By the way, if the frequency of a radio is out of band on the SDR, it shows in red, and the mouse tooltip explains why.
What frequency are you using, for Dana? Love?
Okay. We see the
275.
decoding.
No, what frequency inside you're using, a 1500?
Oh gee, where am I? 587.
Well, way down there, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not watching things here.
I'll
Yes,
just,
I did decode your message. It just didn't show it here because this panel was closed. Let's try again.
I'm up around 1100.
Okay, I'm back up at 1587 here, so.
You guys on first or second?
Second.
No, I'm on first, he's on second.
Who's on third?
Right. Yeah. I thought I'd just give it a try, see if I could hear you guys.
Well, the band's not open.
Yeah, they say with Q65, you don't need the band open.
Well, come on. It take a while to build a signal, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so we
Oh.
got
well, that works
So
cool.
that, well, there you go. Very cool. I gotta try this.
Very good.
Yeah,
Well-
and one thing I want to mention is that if you want to decode MSK, then you need WSJT-X 2.7 release candidate 4 or higher.
Hmm.
So this is the first version that where JT9 decodes MSK.
So you need 2.7 only or 2.7 and up?
2.7 release candidate 4 or up.
Got it.
Or up. Okay, so I'm running 2.7 RC6.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty handy little tool. I'm sure we'd have.
Very good idea.
Yeah, we'll get more
Yeah.
guys trying it out. Yeah, if the silly question, but if there's CW, like you're looking down there, 057, is that CW, is that a beacon you're looking at?
Yes.
Does it decode that?
No, it decodes only the digital modes.
Okay.
You can send this audio through a virtual audio cable to CW Skimmer. And decode
Sure.
if you want.
That's V3 UBL.
Yes.
Haha. See, that's pretty good. Yeah, Dana is very multitasking. He can decode CW by just looking at it.
Not quite.
He's got the ability to.
Although I got pretty good with some of the tones on FT8 or some of the early JT6 before FT8. Some of those, I guess it was JT.
SK?
Yeah, yeah. I could actually figure out what the tones were.
Well, any other questions, guys? This is the time.
Very cool.
Yeah, I just have one question for Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex, when I'm attempting to run N1MM along with JTDX and JT Skimmer, which one lays claim to like the port 3? I know I'm using OmniRig 1 and OmniRig 2, but I'm having a heck of a time making all three talk to each other.
They all should talk to the same rig. So if you have two radios, you assign them to rig 1 and rig 2. If you have only one radio, just make it rig 1. And all programs should talk to rig 1.
Okay, I'm having a little difficulty understanding that. Which you make OmniRig 1 talks to the radio directly?
Yes, OmniRig 1 talks to one radio, OmniRig 2 talks to another radio if you have one. Now, the software, they should all use the same rig number. If they want to control the same rig.
Okay, I'll give that a try and we'll see what happens. Thanks.
I have to
Okay.
ask a dumb question here. So the quality of noise rejection is in your SDR and not in your software.
Noise rejection? You
Noise.
mean noise blanker. Yeah,
noise-
we do have a noise blanker. It's a one-bay noise blanker. I don't have any local impulsive noise, so I couldn't
Okay.
test.
That's in your software, not in the SDR.
Yes, it's on the software.
Okay, all right, that's good answered. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Alex, when you're setting this up, when using OmniRig, do we have to run it in what am I trying to say here? Administrative mode?
No. You don't have to run OmniRig at all. It starts automatically when it's needed.
Oh,
So when you enable it here, actually in the settings, OmniRig, you can disable it by selecting none. If you select rig 1 or rig 2, it starts automatically.
great. It works.
When you close JT Skimmer, it stops automatically. And it's invisible. You can see it unless you open the settings dialog.
And with the skimmer, do you start that in administrative?
No. Administrative mode is needed only for system actions, like for installation.
Yeah, I seem to use it a lot right now. I'm using Yannick for SSTV and interfacing it with the software from let's see, it's the Win4ICOM software, and I have OmniRig listed in there with a virtual cable. So that's how I set that up. But that's a different story from what you're doing now.
Yes. One thing about the COM servers like OmniRig is that if one program that uses OmniRig runs as administrator with administrative privileges, then other programs should also run with the same privileges. Windows doesn't allow you to have the same COM server used by programs with different privileges. It's a security feature.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's
So
cool.
this is receive only. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you wanted to transmit, what would you do?
You click here to tune my icon to this frequency around WSJT-X and work as usual. The purpose of this program is only to notify something interesting is going on. You don't operate in it. Normally, when you minimize it, it goes to the system tree. It stays there all the time. So that's how it is supposed to be used.
It's very good.
Alex, with the different instances, are you able to set different settings? For example, your gain setting, your LNA setting, your mixer setting, VGA,
Yes.
and those are those global settings across all of your receivers, or are those a setting for each receiver?
These settings are for the SDR radio. They are not for individual logical receivers.
Okay.
What you set here is for SDR play. What you set here is for AirSpy.
Okay.
If you want to run a second copy of JT Skimmer, you need a second receiver. You can't use the same receiver in two instances.
Got it. Thank
So
you.
what I did initially, I ran two copies of the program. One used AirSpy and one used SDR Play, and I let it run for 24 hours and log the results. This is described in my blog.
So documentation on this, is it, are you getting anywhere near getting most of it done?
No, I am lazy about writing documentation. And since it's in the beta stage, this is an excuse for
I know.
basically the two features that were not tested properly is the noise blocker. So if you have impulsive noise at your location, please try it and let me know if it works properly. And this HamCap thing. I don't work EME, so I don't know how good it is. If someone tries it and tells me that it works fine, then I promote the program to the official release, and then there will be documentation.
Yeah, usually we run a low noise preamp in front of the air spies to lower the noise figure even further.
I don't. At my location, the noise is so high that preamp is useless.
That's cool. If there are any more questions on this? Again, I'm glad we recorded it because I'm going to be going back and forth on this thing a few more times to make sure that I understand what I'm doing or not doing right.
Sometimes with the preamps, it's pretty easy to overdrive the decoders. And I've noticed that I can run my preamps up high enough through this program and get enough amplification that JT-X will list my signals up to 180 dB. That's 180, and it still decodes. So it's
Wow.
I mean that's pretty high, but it works.
Yes. So here you have to set the gain. Oh, where is it? I don't remember now. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that our decoders have advanced settings. These are the parameters that are sent to JT9EXE when we request a decoding. And here you can adjust the input amplitude. By default, it's minus 10 dB, but someone told me that if you set it to 0, then it decodes a couple more messages. So this is something to try.
I have a 10 dB inline pad in my between my preamp and the air spy, and that seems to work really good. Well, now that we've seen this, and if there's no more questions, I want to thank Alex for taking the time to bring this out and show it to us, and I'm sure that you'll probably hear a few more questions from us maybe after the fact.
Absolutely.
We'll
My
try.
email address is here on the website.
Yeah, we'll try not to overwhelm you, and we don't want to wear out our welcome, so we'll try to be nice.
I'll be glad to receive any feedback, so don't hesitate to write to me.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, well, I'm gonna download it and then play around with it and see if I can make and break it. I usually break things about 10 times before I can figure out how to make it work.
Good.
So,
That's good. Here on the download page, you have release notes, and you can see that many things were discovered by the user, fixed, and tested by those users. So if you find something that doesn't work, please let me know.
I'm usually the guy who finds it. Okay, cool enough. Well, thanks again for spending the time with us today. And we are recording, and so I'm going to take the recording and put it onto the Front Range 6-meter group YouTube page for tomorrow. And that way, some of the folks who can't make our meeting today will also be able to see it firsthand. And you may get some more questions there too.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. It's a good program.
Yeah, stay warm up there in Richmond Hill.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.